Hey everybody, JerryNines. So, it's summertime, it's nice out, you want to be comfortable, you want to be armed. What do? Let's go ahead and answer those questions. And also I have some big news right at the end of the video, so let's do it. Okay, so here we are, and again, it's summertime. I'm wearing a t-shirt, kind of a nice t-shirt, but a t-shirt, and I have on just some regular elastic waistband shorts. Look, when you leave the house in the summertime, you want to be comfortable, but you want to be armed, and it can be difficult. By the time you get your wallet in your pockets and you get maybe your phone in your pockets, at that point, you kind of get weighed down. There are a couple of different things that we can do to overcome this. Number one, maybe we forego those elastic shorts, but for what we've set up today, we're not foregoing that. So what do? Well, one possibility is that you go small with your concealed carry firearm. So in this case, in my pocket, I have my little Seat Camp 32 in a wallet holster. Never, ever, ever carry in the pocket without carrying in a pocket holster. And that's okay if I know I'm just going to be moseying around, but let's face it, even the smallest, lightest pistol still is a hunk of steel. So what do? One possibility is we go off body carry, right? I think sometimes we get so married into this idea that we're going to be carrying on our waistband that we don't think about going off body. So here I have this little, I don't know what you call this, like a shoulder bag or I don't even know, but a cross-body bag, I think is what it's called. And this kind of works, right? Because now I can take everything. I can take my keys, I can take my phone, I can take in this case, my Wilson SFX9, and I have it fairly easy to get to and certainly concealed. There are, however, some problems with off-body carry. One of those is that you're sitting down, you're at a table somewhere, maybe you're enjoying a nice cold non-alcoholic iced tea because again we are carrying a gun. And what happens if you take that off and you leave it somewhere? I know I'm the type of person that might do that. Also, this might just not be your fashion. You might not like this. Certainly this is a bit of a fancy bag. There are some more sort of tactical options we could go with, but for one reason or another, off-body carry might not be right for you. So what's the solution? If we can't go off-body, the only and our clothes don't allow us for one reason or another to go, on our belt, traditional, strong side, outside the waistband, strong side inside the waistband, appendix carry inside the waistband. At the end of the day, if we don't have a stable platform around our waist based upon the pants or the shorts that we're wearing and a belt, it's really hard to be able to do things, be able to move, right? To be able to conceal in a pair of really comfortable, in this case, elastic waistband shorts. So what's the answer? Well, the answer is right here. So this is the Enigma holster by PHLster. And I'm here to tell you today why I think it is the perfect solution for comfortable, on-body, even closer to the body carry than we generally think about, and my experiences with it. PHLster doesn't know me, except they might have me on their rolls as a customer. They don't, they're not paying me for this, certainly. This is just something that I got. I've had it for about a year. I really like it, and I want to share it with you. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the PHLster Enigma holster and see if it might be the solution for you. Let's get it done. All right, so before we begin, let's just get a couple of things straight. Number one, I am not trying to convince you to buy anything. It doesn't matter to me if you buy an Enigma holster or Enigma holster system from PHLster. I don't make a nickel either way. Really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to invite you to think about different ways in which you can carry a firearm no matter what you have going on in your life. Because the reality is that I'm a fairly rabid believer in the Second Amendment, and I want you carrying a gun because my belief is the vast majority of people watching this video, in fact, the vast majority of people out there, they are good people, and I want good people armed. Hey, if you like the way that sounds, maybe just go ahead and like and subscribe really quickly. A lot of this type of content out there, and every little thing you do, including commenting on this video, winds up helping out the channel and lets me bring you more content like this. So, again, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to convince you to buy anything. Along those lines, I just want to make sure that the other thing we get clear is that, look, I don't have anything against pocket pistols. This, again, is my .32 caliber C Camp. I live with this gun pretty much every day of my life. When I wake up in the morning, I get some trousers on, it goes in my pocket. It's perfect for a lot of times, but it's not perfect for all the time. And that's really the basis for this video and the basis for my having bought an Enigma when I did. Again, there's nothing wrong with off-body carry. The reality is that, yeah, there are times when that can be inconvenient. It does have its own challenges, but it's also a great way to maybe take your everyday carry from something like this to something like this. And if that's what's going to allow you to do that, then I say that's great. But again, we just need to understand there are some challenges there. One other thing I mentioned in the intro was if you're going to carry a gun in a pocket, make sure it has a pocket holster. Kind of the same thing with off-body carry. If you're going to carry a gun in a bag, make sure that that bag has some way to properly secure the firearm so that it's not flopping around, so that safeties aren't brushing off, etc. Now, this particular bag does have an internal pocket that is really snug and tight around my Wilson, and I've tested it with the weapon cleared inside, and it can be subjected to a fair amount of movement without dislodging or without anything being unsafe. Having said that, I am still looking for an appropriate way to maybe take this bag and get a holster into it properly secured enough so that it can properly secure that firearm. So again, that's something to think about. There are some times when you're wearing clothing for one reason or another that is a little bit more athletic in nature, and maybe athletic clothing kind of translates into the need for athletic movements, yet you still want to have that firearm available for self-defense, defense of others, etc. Okay? And that's what we're talking about. That's what we talk about when we talk about sort of beyond even on the belt carry to true on the body carry. And that's something that the Enigma system allows. Are there other systems out there that allow this? There might be. I just haven't seen any, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this. So the Enigma holster comes from PHLster. If you go to their website, and I'll put that here somewhere, if you go to their website, you're going to see that there are kind of two options for the Enigma. Number one is what they call the Express offering, and number two is what they call the OS or open source offering. Now, the Express offering is when PHLster makes a holster that fits the gun that you want to carry in this rig, and you just buy it all as a system. It comes already assembled, and you basically just throw it on. I'll talk more about how it attaches to you in a moment. The other way, and what I had to do, because the Wilson SFX9 is not one of the holsters that they make firearms, or they make holsters. I'm sorry, it's not one of the firearms they make holsters for, but they do have a number of companies listed on their website, and those companies do make holsters that are compatible with the Enigma system. At that point, if you're buying the holster separately, what you're going to get is essentially the Enigma system without a holster, and then you'll add that to it. And again, we'll talk about that in a minute after we talk a little bit about what the how the Enigma actually attaches to you. So The Enigma holster attaches to you, the Enigma carry system, I should say, attaches to you in two important ways. Number one is, and I'll just go ahead and bring this up to camera. You're going to actually see the holster here as if you were looking down on it, if you were wearing it looking down on it. This chassis system actually rides on the outside and the holster is against your body, okay? And then you have this waistband. This waistband comes up and attaches back to the holster. It has this really nice magnetic closure there. And then it also has a quick release to allow you to disengage everything, okay? You're wearing this as a belt against your body, usually in the appendix style. But additionally, you also have this leg leash. And this leg leash goes around your leg, comes back, and clips back into itself. And it provides security so that when you pull up on the holster or on the gun that's in the holster stays put while the gun gets into your hand and gets ready for operation. So it's very simple. The Enigma system carries the holstered firearm on your body, and really the clothing at that point becomes kind of ancillary. As long as you have the firearm secured in the Enigma on your body, whatever you put over it, that's up to you because you don't have to rely on the clothing to make sure it has belt loops or whatever. Going backwards for a second, if you go to the website and you don't have, or the firearm that you want to carry, they don't make the holster for that, fine. Well, if they do, you can go ahead and you can order the Express. If not, you're going to order the OS or the open source. But let's say that you have to go the open source route like I did. First of all, they actually have a nice thing on the website that says, like, is this option for you? And one of those things that it says is, if you don't like tinkering, if you don't like maybe, trying something, going back, trying it again, then that might not be for you. And I can say that's absolutely the case. Now, I didn't mind tinkering a little bit and putting it all together. They also have some really, really excellent videos, tutorial videos that show you how to put everything together. And one of the things, here's a little tip. One of the things that they show you in the beginning of that video is they say, hey, go ahead and label everything. Label the top side of the holster, the bottom side of the holster. Label the top of the chassis system, the bottom of the chassis system. And initially, I ignored all that. I was like, come on, I can keep track of all of this. Don't do what I did. Go ahead and label everything. I actually wound up undoing everything and then redoing it and making sure everything was labeled, and it made everything so much easier. Another pro tip is if you're putting this together, if you're not doing the Express, then make sure that the screws that they're telling you to use are the ones you're supposed to be using. I actually got confused for a little bit. Shouldn't shock you if you know me at all. And at one point I found it very frustrating because I was actually using the wrong screws, and the screws I was trying to use actually were too short to kind of sandwich everything together. Once it all works, once it all comes together and you're doing your part by using the right pieces in the right places, at that point, everything really falls together. And again, you now can go ahead and put your Enigma system on, and it really, really does work out well. So I've worn it with my Wilson SFX9, and I've worn it with sweatpants. I've worn it with, as we saw earlier in the yard, with shorts with an elastic waistband. Really anything, because now I'm not relying on the garment itself to hold up the firearm, the magazine full of ammo that's in it, along with everything else that I'm relying on that garment to hold up, which is, or yes, there are times when off-body carry, and by the way, there's nothing saying that you couldn't, if you were wearing sweatpants or you were wearing, again, shorts with an elastic waistband, maybe you do find some sort of bag so that you can take all that stuff and do it off-body, and then you incorporate the Enigma from PHLster so that you don't have the problem that I talked about before, the problems that I talked about before, the challenges, or maybe forgetting like your gun somewhere or having it being bounced around inside of a carrier, right? So There are ways that we can think and maybe marry one or more of the ideas that are out there into the hybrid approach that works for you. So, hey, this is JerryNines, just trying to give you some things to think about as we go through our daily life with our firearms. And I think that's all that I have for you. So again, if this was at all interesting, if you found this useful, please go ahead and like and subscribe. And the big announcement. So as I talked about earlier in the video, the very beginning of the video, I have an announcement. The announcement is this. I have recently acquired my federal firearms license as well as my special occupational taxpayer status. What does that mean? Well, that means that I am now licensed by the federal government to be both a dealer and a manufacturer in firearms, and that SOT status means that I can not only deal and manufacture what we think of as standard or type 1 according to the government firearms, like revolvers, semi-automatic pistols, rifles of any sort of scope, but additionally I can deal in some cool stuff like suppressors and short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, fully automatic weapons, etc. That's something I have going on. By the way, the name of my new company is JerryNines LLC, and we're going to have a website coming soon, and you're going to see a lot of the brands out there, folks like Arms, folks like Palmetto State Armory. I'm in conversations with B&T as well. You'll be seeing my name, my logo, which is on the bottom, I guess, right-hand corner of all of my videos. You're going to see that on my website. And hey, if there's something that I can help you find out, certainly if you're in Ohio, we can deal with one another directly. But hopefully I'll be also stocking some stuff that might be a little hard to find. And with that, you're looking for the right suppressor, you're looking for the right sort of maybe special firearm to kind of, add to the collection, take things to the next level, whatever. Think about reaching out to me. I'll put my website on my videos whenever all that sort of comes to fruition. But again, JerryNines, now JerryNines LLC, NFA firearms manufacturer and dealer. Hope to be able to help you out. And until then, let's just say, stay vigilant, stay trained, and as always, God bless America.